for the 76ers. Stephen Anthony, what do you make of this move?
I don't like it, but I want to be fair because, listen, I certainly wasn't enamored with the job that Mike D'Antoni was doing in New York, but at the same time, I don't want to vilify the man. I think he knows a thing or two about basketball. I don't ignore, nor have I forgotten the fact that he averaged 58 wins a season in his 4 full years coaching the Phoenix Suns. It helped that he had Steve Nash, two-time league MVP, no doubt, and Amari Stoudemire and others. But the fact is, Steve Nash was never a league MVP until Mike D'Antoni was coaching him. So let's give credit where credit is due. So we understand that the man pushed the tempo, sort of helped to revolutionize the game of basketball into the modern era where you're seeing guys jacking up shots and playing an up-tempo system that's considerably more entertaining to most basketball fans than the old school form of basketball was. But Skip Bayless, you've accurately surmised over the years and pointed out that Mike D'Antoni, the D in his name needs to be taken out. You need to call him Mike Antoni because when it comes to defense, his teams are religiously non-existent. And when you look at the job, you got to remember he lost the job with the New York Knicks. He walked away from that, supposedly. But he was 18-24 at the time. They were underachieving. And then Mike Woodson steps in and guides the Knicks to the playoffs. Then the following year, Mike Woodson takes the New York Knicks and wins 54 games, all right, and takes them to the Eastern Conference semifinals. This man can't get a look at a job. But somehow, some way, Mike D'Antoni, suspect job in New York, highly questionable job in L.A., I might add, going 40-32 when he picked them up in 10 games into the season after Jim Buss fired Mike Brown after 5 and used Bernie Bickerstaff for 5 games during the interim. Mike D'Antoni takes over. He goes 40-32 when anybody who knows basketball would have told you that Bernie Bickerstaff could have done a better job with the Lakers than Mike D'Antoni did. Then you come the next season and you go 27-55, coaching the Los Angeles Lakers before you're booted out of there. And primarily because you don't coach defense. Remember the quote, Skip, when he says, of course we focused on defense. We practiced on it for a half hour. That's what he said, okay? This is the kind of stuff that he said. And so when you look at it from that standpoint and then you look at the Houston Rockets, this is a team that was ranked 25th last year defensively, that was dead last in points forfeited last year. And Daryl Morey is on record saying that, we need to, up the ante defensively. And Mike D'Antoni is who you're looking at? Really? It doesn't make sense to me. And I know you got guys like Jeff Bzdelik, who's a former coach in Denver, who's an assistant coach that they would try to get to go to his coaching staff. It just amazes me how some of these coaches get concessions made for them. If you could do it all, that would be one thing, and you just hired your staff. But they're talking about hiring Mike D'Antoni, but also, compiling the appropriate staff for him. What did this man do to get these concessions made for him, other than what he did in Phoenix? That was prior to 2008. We are now in 2016. Coaches that won a couple of years ago can't get a job. This man hasn't really won for 8 years. And you got people giving him second and third interviews and making all of these concessions. I'm just saying.